Hi there. I thought I'd show everybody my setup and kind of walk folks through who maybe are curious what on earth all these toys are and what they do. This first thing up here is my conical fermenter. I went with a Spike Brewing 15-gallon fermenter. I think it's got a total volume a little bit more than that, so it can handle up to 15 gallons of beer at once. I have a blow-off arm installed, and at the bottom of it, I've gone ahead and tri-clamped on, I guess to explain, these little guys here, they're what's called tri-clamp. They're sanitary fitting with no threads. I have a tri-clamp to a, essentially a gas unit where I either can send CO2 up into it to carbonate the beer while it's in the fermenter. I actually haven't found that all that useful. I don't think I'm going to do it again. It just takes too much CO2. It's not worth it for me personally. Your mileage may vary. But what I have it set up right now is I have a logger in here fermenting, and it's pumping CO2 out of here into the CO2 out gas post, which I've got connected up into a keg, and I am purging this keg of the sanitizer solution in it so that it's with CO2 in it, so that when I transfer the beer out of the conical into the keg, it'll be no oxygen. So it'll essentially eliminate the oxygen in the beer, which oxygenation reduces the shelf life of the beer, can introduce, some folks think it introduces off flavors. My palate, I don't think it's sensitive enough to taste that. So is what it is. I actually stole this idea of using CO2 to purge from the guys at Brulosophy, who showed this on a recent one of their weekly updates. It's a pretty cool system. I ended up purging the 2 kegs over there. This is my 3rd keg that I'm purging, and I'm now taking the sanitizer and sending it out of the keg into a bucket, because I funny enough, I guess I could try doing it in one more keg, but right now I think 3 kegs is plenty. There's 10 gallons in here, so I'll just have 1 keg on hand. So next time I do a 5-gallon batch, I'll have a keg that's oxygen free, that's ready to rock and roll, so that I can just simply be ready to throw it into the keezer and have it on tap. Couple other neat things in my brewery here. Over here, I've got a setup where I have an aquarium chiller. It's a 110 horsepower aquarium chiller that's able to keep water down to 39 degrees. And that 39 degree water hangs out in a cooler, which then is being recirculated as necessary through the conical fermenter. The conical fermenter here is it's essentially being held in check by this temperature control, this temperature controller here hanging off the wall, where I have it set to 50 degrees, and every time the temperature probe detects that the fermenter has raised up to 51 degrees, a pump kicks on and it'll recirculate 39 degree water through the system until it drops down to 50. I will eventually, after this logger is done crashing and I've done a diacetyl rest with it, I will probably crash this down to 40 some degrees, and once it's in the 40s, I will gravity feed it out into my kegs, and once it's gravity fed into the kegs, I will then go ahead and I will then, I guess at that point, just continue loggering the loggers, do the actual loggering phase inside the keezer, since I don't find this to be as energy efficient as my chest freezer keezer that I use. So it's a good system. It works for me. I'm figuring out how to do it as efficiently, and if I make any changes, I'll try and let folks know.